Hello, it's really good to see you again. This session is going to concentrate on finding information in fiction texts, something that in English language is a really important skill. So I'd like you to take away some key points with you from this session. You're very likely going to be asked to write about a short fiction text. It might be a short story or an extract from a novel, and very possibly, depending on your exam syllabus, one you have not seen before. You might have to look at key points from the text, worth a few marks, or maybe something much more specific, such as language or structure, worth a greater amount of marks. Let's think about how you might approach a fiction text. So this is what I suggest you do. You look at the questions first and work out what's been asked of you. You focus on different parts of the text for different questions. So for example, if the question says, read lines 1 to 4 and answer question 1, that's what you focus on. You just focus on lines 1 to 4 at this stage. You might need to practice some different reading skills, such as skimming and scanning. Skimming, scanning, don't panic, I'll explain. So skimming is getting an overall sense of the piece of writing, such as what type of text it is. You skim through the text to look for that sense of what it's about. Scanning. This is where you're looking for more specific information, such as a name, an age, or perhaps a certain type of word, such as an adjective or a verb. Some information is implicit, other times it might be explicit. And just to check that you're okay with these terms, if it's implicit, it's something that's hidden, maybe less obvious. Often, you might have to read between the lines, metaphorically speaking. If it's explicit, it's something that's more obvious, more clear, like someone's name or age. Okay then, so now you've got a sense of that, let's move on to look at how this might work more in practice. So way back in the 1800s, American writer Mark Twain wrote a book called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Now it is set in Mississippi in the deep south of the USA, and it's about a boy called, you guessed it, Tom Sawyer. Now I'm going to show you an extract from the very start of chapter 2. Saturday morning was come, and all the summer world was bright and fresh and brimming with life. There was a song in every heart, and if the heart was young, the music issued at the lips. There was cheer in every face, and a spring in every step. The locust trees were in bloom, and the fragrance of the blossoms filled the air. Cardiff Hill, beyond the village and above it, was green with vegetation, and it lay just far enough to seem a delectable land, dreamy, reposeful, and inviting. Tom appeared on the sidewalk with a bucket of whitewash and a long-handled brush. He surveyed the fence, and all gladness left him, and a deep melancholy settled down upon his spirit. 30 yards of board fence 9 feet high. Life to him seemed hollow and existence but a burden. Sighing, he dipped his brush and passed it along the topmost plank, repeated the operation, did it again, compared the insignificant whitewashed street with the far-reaching continent of unwhitewashed fence, and sat down on a tree box, discouraged. So, let's think about some of those skills from earlier. Skimming. I'd like you to skim through the text and get an idea of the atmosphere that is being described. Okay, now you can hopefully see that it's fairly positive. It describes summer and how it is brimming with life. We get information about the flowers and their fragrance, so all in all, quite positive. What about scanning? Well, this time, in paragraph 1, find the name of a hill. Okay, correct, Cardiff Hill. What about the length of a fence in paragraph 2? You got it, 30 yards. And for information, a yard is 3 feet, just under a metre long. What about implicit and explicit information? Well, for implicit, Mark Twain implies this is a very nice place to live. He does not say it exactly, but he gives us plenty of clues. Explicit's a bit different. It's easier, perhaps, I think so anyway. Twain tells us that all gladness left him and a deep melancholy settled upon his spirit. So yes, Tom is pretty miserable and fed up. He really does not want to paint the fence. Hopefully then, you've got the idea that looking for different parts of information in a text is very important. And this is something that readers do pretty much all the time. Let's imagine you are writing about something very specific to paragraph 1. Here is an exam-style question to help you. In paragraph 1, lines 1 to 6, Twain uses language to tell readers how pleasant the area is. I'd like you to pause the video and write down 4 of the words or phrases from these lines which suggest this. Okay, so hopefully you've done that, and it will help your understanding and your ability to recall information. So let's review. There's quite a lot you could say here. For example, bright, fresh, brimming with life, song in every heart, cheer in every face, spring in every step, dreamy, reposeful and inviting. So you can hopefully see here that you have quite a lot to choose from. So well done if you managed to get 4 or maybe even more different examples. Before we move on, which phrase from paragraph 2 tells you what Tom feels about life? Have you got it? Well, the example you really want is, life to him seemed hollow. So here you would look for clues, and in this case, the word life, and then go from there. Which of these phrases do you think is the most positive? The summer world was bright and fresh, brimming with life, song in every heart, cheer in every face, spring in every step, fragrance of the blossoms filled the air. Well, okay, that was a bit of a trick question because all of these examples are quite positive. It really depends on you and how you interpret them. But the idea is that you have thought about language use and how it impacts on you and the effect that it has. We're going to move on now to the next session to look at non-fiction text, so I'll see you there.